Critics are calling President Donald Trump's recent move to halt over $6 billion in federal funding for K-12 education a significant and harsh setback for U.S. public schools. This decision, announced on a Tuesday, has left state officials and teacher union leaders in a state of dismay. They argue it comes on the heels of significant reductions and layoffs within the Department of Education earlier this year, casting a shadow of uncertainty over the future of public education. The freeze is causing concern for services such as reading and math tutoring, summer and after-school programs, and support for migrant and English language learners, funding that typically arrives on July 1st. California and Texas are projected to be the hardest hit by this funding restriction, though its effects will reverberate nationwide if these financial resources aren't promptly dispersed. The National Education Association, NEA, the country's largest teachers' labor union, warns that schools may be compelled to reduce educator salaries or even lay off staff, potentially leading to ballooning class sizes and destabilizing this primarily female workforce. NEA President Becky Pringle described the funding hold as outrageous and unconscionable. She emphasized that withholding such essential federal education funds undermines promises to support students, particularly those relying on vital support services. Pringle argued that this funding freeze aligns with the Trump administration's strategy of limiting public education resources to subsequently promote private and religious schools. These alternative institutions are not always required to enroll the most at-risk students, including those needing specialized support. Randi Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers, AFT, criticized the funding freeze as an illegal attempt to divert resources away from public education, highlighting that the impacted programs are approved by Congress. Weingarten emphasizes that these delays force schools to face uncertainty over what educational services they can offer and who they can hire for the coming academic year. California's Tony Thurmond, the state's superintendent of public instruction, stated that California stands to lose about $1 billion in aid. He questioned the legal grounds for the administration's actions, accusing it of punishing children out of defiance against states that do not align with Trump's political views. Thurmond suggested this move will have immediate repercussions on students and educators, given the timing just before the new school year begins. Zeph Capo of Texas AFT highlighted that the freeze particularly impacts programs aimed at improving student achievement and supporting teachers, at a time when the state faces its own challenges with teacher shortages and underfunding. He questioned the silence of Texas lawmakers on Trump's financial withholding and what it suggests about their stance on public education's future. Furthermore, the national conversation has been focusing on how Trump's intended tax cuts for the wealthy, as part of the recent Senate passage bill, will negatively affect children by reducing access to healthcare and food, while offering significant tax reductions for the wealthiest sectors. What are your thoughts on how this funding freeze will affect public education? Do you believe it's a strategic move to prioritize alternative schooling options, or is it a necessary scheme to balance the federal budget? Share your perspective in the comments, and let's discuss.